Hello and welcome back. My name is Tris and this is Double O'Neill. You've probably seen quite a few of my other episodes. Hopefully you have. If you haven't, check them out. You might enjoy yourself. I've been focusing more recently on the mountain part of the railway, and I've been enjoying the fixing of it, which was originally something that I had to do, improve the helix so the 009 engines can go up. And underneath we've got the 00 gauge lines going through, so I'm looking forward to, once it's all working, having the nice shots of everything going at once, which would be great. We're going to look at that over this episode. I'm also going to talk about an engine that I brought. It's a bargain on eBay. It's one that I've wanted for a while, and I was always thinking, oh, when I go to a model show I'll pick one up, but that hasn't happened due to various things that have been happening. The other thing is I want to talk about one of my favourite engines. I've got a number of favourite engines, but I first saw this one at Severn Valley Railway, and that it looked awesome when it went, and to see it go was wonderful. And it's the 2800 or 2800, whatever you want to call it, and I've got it here. I'm going to insert a clip, but it is one of the most awesome looking engines, in my book anyway. It's crazily high detailed. I got it as a Christmas present off my parents. It was maybe about 4 years ago, something like that now. And I'd always liked the look of them, and there's a chunkier version which I quite like as well that I'd like to get. And so I'll insert some clips here, and you can look at it. It's got like really good painted details in the cab. It's wonderful. Like, you've got all the levers look like they've been separately fitted. You've got to be really careful when you hold it, because there's lots of little rods and handlebars and things on the tender that you can touch. Once you've attached all the, I'm just looking down at it now, looking at the bits where they let all the steam out of the cylinders before they get going, they're like relief valves, pipes, and they blast forwards. You separately fit them, and so yeah, so when you pick it up you've got to be really nice to it. But it's got a lot of good pulling power, and later on in the episode I'm going to show you how well it pulls. I'm very impressed by it actually. It's got tender pickup for the wheels, as well as all 4 sets of wheels or 8 wheels on the main chassis. It's got also pickup, so when it goes even over my worst points, it works perfectly. So very impressed. All the buffers, compressing. Yeah, it's a good bit of kit. I'm really impressed with it. I haven't got the older type one. It was what I was thinking about before I knew that this one was about. So that was all tender driven, and I'm kind of not so interested in that. But yeah, before we go into seeing anything, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been supporting my channel from the beginning. I've been really getting to know all the names. When I put like the live chat up when we do a premiere, I get to see all the various people, and I don't want to start listing off people because I'm going to miss someone. But you all know who you are. You're probably watching now. I just want to say thank you for following me as far as you have done. It kind of gives me good motivation to do my next video. I enjoy doing the model railway. I'd probably do it a little bit slower if I wasn't doing the channel, so it's nice for me because it encourages me to do a bit more. I wanted to mention one channel. One is Anthony Dodge. He does a brilliant bunch of videos on, it's like the German style railways. I might be getting this wrong, he's probably gonna comment now, and I like watching his videos. He's over in America. I'm assuming he's in America or maybe Canada. I'm assuming it's the States, But I apologise if you're watching. But yeah, check out his channel. Hopefully I've got right in front of me the information for his channel. It's very relaxing to watch. It's a different railway to the normal 00 gauge stuff that I'm normally into. It's the HO stuff. And yeah, no, it's nice to have a watch and listen to him. He's got a nice voice to listen to and it's relaxing. I like that kind of thing. The other channel is someone that kind of encouraged me with some messages early on, was Piccadilly. It's John Warner that does that. He's got 2 channels. He's got one for 00 gauge and one for N gauge. His channel's bigger than mine. He doesn't need my promotion as such, but I just wanted to put it out there. He's one of the people that I started watching from the beginning, and actually he lives kind of like 10 miles away from where I live, so it'd be cool to meet up one day actually. Yes, so I'm not going to start listing off all the channels that I like. Maybe I do that on another day. I don't know how interested you are, but when I watch other people's live chats and stuff like that, I get to see channels I haven't seen before, so I click on there and I can start subscribing. Anyway, so what we'll do is I'll talk a bit more about what I've been up to. So I've been painting wagons on the last episode. I've been painting them more recently, so I won't bore you with that, but I'll put a couple of clips in. I've been converting non-Great Western ones to Great Western. I know that upsets a few of you because that wouldn't have happened and you would have just had an NER wagon or an LMS wagon or a Southern Railway wagon just sitting like that. But I want to paint it up in Great Western. It's my railway. I like to have fun with it and it's enjoyable for me. So that's that. The reason I've been painting up all my wagons is I wanted to have a nice freight train or a goods train, and yeah, I like a goods train. Not everyone likes a goods train, as it's always described in Thomas the Tank Engine series. Gordon was not finding it very dignified to pull a goods train.
Gordon was very cross. Instead of nice shining coaches, he was pulling a lot of very dirty trucks. A goods train, a goods train, a goods train, he grumbled. The shame of it, the shame of it, oh, the shame of it.
But I think they look good when they're pulling them along, and I thought I'd make a very, very long one for it to go round, but we'll look at that in a minute. We're going to first go to the very fun part that I've been enjoying, is the Rockwork. And we'll go over to that now, and we can enjoy watching the rocks do their evolution from white plaster roll wrapped bits to the point that it's starting to look kind of decent. It will still need ballasting and some more painting for the sleepers. I need to add some grass and shrubbery and weeds and whatever. But once that's done, I can then start working on the hills. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also short of ideas of what I want to do in the centre circle of the helix, but I'm thinking maybe just it's grassland with a tree or two in there growing. So yeah, so enjoy. So basically, to mix up, what I wanted to do was 2 parts of polyfiller and 1 part water. And what I'm going to do is make a paste that I can smear over all the bandage that's gone on. So then I get a nice surface that represents rock, let's say. Doesn't look like some of the rock, but then I add in some pigments, so the Payne's grey and a lighter grey. I could never remember the name of it. It's all from Hobbycraft. Mix it all up. I might add a bit of water if I need to. Ultimately, it looks like that sludged right there. And we're just gonna paste it on, and we're gonna manipulate it whichever way we want. Initially, I started out wanting to use the spatula. I was thinking, yeah, that would do all the work, but I wasn't quite happy with that. So I thought, what I need to do is use my hands. And so with my fingers, I kind of work in shapes and whatever. You start enjoying that. You'll notice I'm wearing gloves. When I did this last time, it was very, very messy. And then I couldn't even turn the camera off because it meant that I'd be covering it in this lovely mess. So peeling the glove off, I fixed my problem. Though I still managed to get a load of dust all over my hands. It was very, very messy, as you can probably tell. And being that the back of the helix is so close to the wall, I got it so many times that the sky with the grey, so I've kind of ruined it a bit, but I'll paint it again blue sometime. And whilst doing this, I noticed little areas that I can improve on the rockwork, so I'm going to do a little bit more work on that for like the next video. and try and maybe even get some ballast down, who knows. But what I've been doing is I did the sludge, let's say, put that on, and then I'm doing a wash, just a dark wash, and that just kind of starts picking out all the areas and neutralizing, like blending everything together as like more of one color, and then went back over with an even darker wash later on. Once that's done, the next step will be to look at the kind of the brighter colors, but we just need to make sure we've got enough dark in the right areas. So kind of just working it all over, not discriminating against anything to begin with. But then later on, when I came with the dark colour, I focused on kind of creating some shadows in places. I didn't get all of it on camera, but whilst this was drying, I thought it's about time I painted this brown, because we're going to be sticking grass to it at some point, and I need to put the hill on, which will be the next job, which is going to be fun actually. I think it should be relatively, I won't say easy because it means it won't be easy, but we're going to put a hill on there, and it's going to have all the little portals, and then I'm going to have the tunnel entrance about here, so that'd be cool. So back to this, it's dried off. You can see the lighter bits have stayed where they are, and it's looking alright. So you can imagine how I'm going to then improve after that. So I then have my, you could almost call it sea sponge, but it's not. This is just one of those therapeutic sponges you can buy, which has got lots of texture to it. So I use that, and I work all the different areas, and I smudge it around in splotch and blotch and whatever. I don't know the technical term, but we start creating kind of accents of colour, and it starts picking out the tops of the rock, and then that naturally pronounces the dark bits at the same time. So that's cool. And so that's the whole process really. And then if you're not happy, you re-come in with other colours and redo bits. The bits closest to the camera, actually, I've redone that since this video, but you won't see it. But that needed more plaster, and I found some, which was good. Well, the plaster bandage, and then ran that down the side. I'll leave the last kind of clip to view, and I'll see you in a second. I hope you enjoyed that. I feel that we're getting very close to that kind of finishing point that everything else comes together and it looks great. I'm looking forward to getting the 009 on it. I need to do some more work on the 009 layouts. I just need time really. Work's been really busy this week, so when I've been doing that, it's kind of just doing a bit each evening. You just throw in an hour, and to be honest, when you've laid the plaster on, you're going to let it dry, you know, that kind of stuff. You've got to put the paint on, all the different things, you just got to let it dry each time. So I could just do an hour each day, and I got there in the end. Even when you're tired, you're like, I need to do it, otherwise I'm not going to get this done. So really pleased with that, and it's a nice hot day today, so it should really set over the weekend. It's been a bit cold, so it doesn't dry as quickly as I'd like it to. So let's take a look at the 2800 going around, the beautiful Great Western engine with its Great Western rolling stock. It's a wonderful engine. So let's take a look at it, and yeah, let's enjoy that. So last but not least, I want to talk to you about an engine that you might be spotting behind me. This is a Hornby Class 25. Okay, I've painted up the handlebars on the sides here. I don't know if that's more in focus or I am. I even did a little bit of white detailing on the bogies. It's the unpainted body. It's an, I guess, 1970s kind of era. And on the black bits, I painted some weathered black. I was thinking I could keep this original, but why? I'm going to have it forever, so make it my own. So I've just kind of touched up some details. And what I will say is I was never into diesels before. I always just liked steam engines and didn't see the point in them and didn't understand why people liked them. But since getting into the hobby a bit more than I ever have, I've started seeing the beauty of them. And at the moment I like the little ones, so the Class 25 as well as the Class 33s. I want to get a Class 33 one day, but I'll wait until model shows or whatever, and see what happens. But I've got that for now. I'd love to get some more detail for it. I chopped off the front, the D coupling from Hornby, and I'd like to get rid of more of it and find some kind of the buffer detail like that's on the real one, if I could somehow stick that on and paint it up. As well as the buffers seem quite small on the Hornby one, whereas when you see the pictures they're a bit larger, but that's only from what I think they look like. So I was thinking I could even make some larger ones on the lathe and get them on, but that's for another day. But it's, for the age of it, it's not bad on detail, and when you have it going around the track it looks nice. Hopefully I've got some running shots in right now. The engine will be going around. I tried to get it to pull the freight. There's no chance. You just got two rubber wheels basically doing all the work, and it just wheel spun the whole time. But I ran it with these trucks in wagons, and it looks nice going around. Really pleased with it. I wish I had some sound effects to go with it to make it sound nice. So the next diesel gala that happens, I'll have to get down there and I can just put some sound with it. It's something that I really like when I watch Moulder Raspberry, and there's a few other channels that introduce the steam sound as they get going, and I did it on one of my first episodes. That was cool. So yeah, so that's been a very pleasant engine for me to have going around. I've really enjoyed the look of it, and I want more. I like the blue BR look with the yellow front. There's a certain character to it. Actually, with this one I didn't say about it. It's got when you go full speed, the lights come on for each way. They're not super bright when they first come on, but yeah, they look really smart when they go around. And when I took off the top, it looks like there's a nice area for like a smoke unit, and I've tried to find out about it, but no one seems to say much about it apart from the fact that it has, it had the looks of like it could have a smoke unit. But I'd love to know if anyone actually ever did, so then you could have a bit of puffing away. Not, I guess it wouldn't be puffing away, but as it starts like roaring up to then get the electric motors to go, that would be kind of cool if you had a little bit of artificial smoke coming out. I don't know what that would do in my loft. I might end up enjoying myself too much. I don't know. Anyway, I'm waffling. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I hope you're staying safe. Things are starting to open up out there, so we can go see a bit more. I heard Hobbycraft is going to open up. I heard that from Charlie at Chadwick. So I was thinking I need to go over there and get some various paints I've run a bit short of, as well as some building materials. So we'll get over there and get some bits and bobs. And I'm looking forward to model railway shops opening up, and I can go and just buy some odds and sods. Anyway, see you soon. Look after yourselves, and see you next time. Bye.